Awesome. Hey. Happy Tuesday. I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life With Herpes, founder of alexandraharbushka.com and Secret Society Wellness. So I am going live. If you are new to this or watching the replay, I do this. I try to do it every day. It probably is like 4 times a week. And I answer questions, whether it's about herpes, whether it's about life, whether it's about pregnancy, being a wife, being a mom, all that fun stuff. Hey guys, hey Adrian, hey Leanne, hey RG Wonderland, Adrian, Big Folden. Cool. All right, let me get to the questions. Love all the hearts, guys. Thank you. I have lots of questions. Let's get going so I can answer them before baby Clinton gets up. All right. Didn't have a chance to join more often. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, Adrian, I'm doing great. Thanks for saying hi. I know it's hard. It's like beginning of the year. Everybody's go, trying to get all that in. I understand. Okay. If someone who doesn't get an actual blister and date someone, if I'm someone who doesn't get an actual blister and date someone who does, will I? No. So basically what you're saying is like, if you don't get outbreaks and then like you're with somebody that gets outbreaks, are you suddenly gonna start getting outbreaks? No. So as of now, the science or technology that we have, basically the science of these viruses is there's there's 2 strains. There's HSV1, HSV2, and you cannot reinfect yourself with the same virus. So that's what we know so far. Of course, this can change, all sorts of stuff. We just don't know what we can discover in the future. What drink do you use with the sour powder? You mean the soar supplements? I just use water. Honestly, I'm not taking them right now because I am nursing, and so there's just certain things you can't take when you're nursing, but I just use water. Okay. No worries. How is the LV been? Okay, my breast pumps. Okay, so if we want to talk about breast pumps, my favorite ones are the Willow, but they don't work for me. My nipple size is too large for the Willow. But the technology, just everything, the app, their onboarding, everything is awesome. So I like the Willow. The next one is the Spectrum pump that I've just been using daily. It's like a hospital grade. It's super simple to use. It's just like Old Faithful. It works. What I don't like about it is I have to carry around the motor if I want to do something. So the LV is awesome. It works. It's just not as comfortable. So I am definitely hands-free and don't have to be stationary, but it's not as comfortable. So those are just how I wanted to share. But it works. I get the same amount of milk. That part's great. Okay. Can IgM antibodies mean reoccurrences or only new infections? It can mean both. It just means that your antibodies were higher at that point, which means that you could just have it, or they could have just had an outbreak, or you're shedding. IgM antibodies are for life, like Ig antibodies. So basically so I'm not quite sure what you're asking, but antibodies are what prove that we have the virus. So when the virus enters our system, our body, like our fighter T cells, they go out and they try to attack the virus, or they're unable to, right? Because viruses have this like shell around them. And so we then create antibodies, which then next time the virus shows up in our system, our body's like, oh, I know what to do with this. I already have it. I now know how to fight it. So when they're testing your IgM and IgG antibodies, that's what they're testing for, the antibodies in your system. And some I'm a little rusty on it. Some are more I forget exactly what each one does. But sometimes if the antibody load is higher, it could mean that you just had an outbreak, or you're shedding, or something like that. Are you liking your video recommendations so far? Oh, in the Secret Society list, Yeah, I am. For those, and you guys, like, let me know. I'm recording some video. Was putting out like an outline for the year for videos to record for YouTube. So let me know what questions you have or like certain topics. How would you explain your previous boyfriends about your situation? So I only have one previous boyfriend besides my husband. And so I can only speak from one boyfriend. I dated multiple guys and disclosed to multiple guys, so I can speak on that. But as far as dating, hey, Stuart. Oh, hey, Stuart. Hey, Kelsey. So my ex-boyfriend, you know, we probably dated like or courted or whatever, was like in that dating situation, I don't know, about 3 months before we slept together. Hola. And just because we were dating and like going for yoga or like going like meeting up on Saturdays for lunch, like it was a courtship. It was very different than any other relationship I'd been in because it went really slow. So it was like 3 months before we were going to become intimate. And in that particular situation, he and I were out to dinner, and I can't remember if a joke was made or something, but the topic of conversation turned to something either about herpes or STDs, and it would have been inappropriate for me to not tell him at that point. You know, it's like that opportunity's right there in your lap, and you're like, uh-oh, like, if I go back to this conversation, it's not going to work out. Like, it's just going to be an asshole move. So anyways, with that case, so when I told him over a burger, he was like, oh, he was okay with it. He obviously wanted to think about it, and that was fine. And I was scared to tell him, but that went well. Other guys, I didn't really care so much about. So when I disclosed to them, like sometimes I had disclosed with the outcome of like getting out of having sex, like, oh, thanks for dinner, that type, whether that's right or wrong. But I'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, I have herpes. And like, it would backfire most of the time. Like, oh, that's cool, I don't really care. It'd backfire on me. But if it wasn't really it wasn't serious, so it was like not a difficult conversation. I really didn't care of the outcome either way. So if that makes sense, I hope that answers your question about disclosing. How soon after meeting your husband for the first time did you tell him you have herpes? So I actually told my husband before we were dating that I had herpes because we were colleagues and we worked together. And I walked into the office after my diagnosis and was like Casper the Ghost. I was like pale white, you know, like when you're freaking out and like in that panic mode. And he could tell I was in like that survival panic, deer in the headlights, like awful spot that we all know about when we're first diagnosed. So I was there, and he just asked me what was wrong, and I couldn't hold it in. And so like, I was like, I have herpes, and and like burst into tears in his office. So anyways, that's how I told him. Circling forward to when we were dating. Hey, Dan, when we were dating, when we discussed dating, I just told him, we had the conversation initially. I'm like, hey, you remember I have herpes? Like, how do you want to handle that? So it was very, like, it wasn't a part of it wasn't an issue at all for my particular relationship with my husband. I have disclosed to other people, and that was obviously different. Every situation's different. Did you sue the guy who gave you herpes? What are your thoughts on that? No, I did not. And here's my thoughts on that for suing. Yes, they gave you herpes. But the fact of the matter is, unless they truly knew about it, and they purposely gave it to you, I believe that suing them, you got to look at what are you wanting out of that? Like, you know, when you see things like, oh, I just want to go back and yell at that person. I like the laughing faces. I don't know. I like it. Like, you know, but you know, you're like, I want to go back and tell this person that, or I want to prove to you that I'm right. I want to show you that I'm right? We get into those like anxious, righteous positions. And before you get in that position or go to that outcome, I really invite you to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's the essential reason for this? Is it to prove I'm right? Okay. Is it because you want to teach that person a lesson? Is it because you feel that by doing that, it's going to break the stigma? Do you feel that by doing that, it's going to trickle down and be beneficial to other people that this person could date? I don't know what the reason is, but you need to come really clean on what that reason is and then evaluate if you're doing it for the right reason. Back to my other thoughts. Back to my other thoughts on suing. I have not met anybody yet that does not know that by having sex, you can get pregnant. So by having sex, you can get pregnant, or by having sex, you can pick up or contract an STD. Like, I haven't met anyone that doesn't know those two things. With that being said, you, me, so-and-so, people, we make that decision to have sex. So to sue someone, you consciously made a decision knowing that there could be an outcome that you're not happy about. And you consciously made that decision. So therefore, you're just as much at fault as your partner that gave it to you. I believe I'm just as much at fault at getting herpes as the ex that gave me herpes. 100%. Just as much at fault. Why? Because I didn't ask him to go, thanks for the agreement. Hey, Autumn. I didn't ask him to go get tested before we slept together. Number one, right? We didn't use a condom. Number two. And we didn't really, it was just, we did it. So I consciously made those decisions knowing that could be an outcome I didn't want. So that was a really long answer to why I wouldn't sue. I don't think it helps you recover and get off that angry roller coaster that you're probably on. I mean, we need to work on forgiveness, not righteousness. One of the good tips I hear from a family counselor is you don't have to be right, but you have to be effective. And it feels right to go, you did this to me, I'm going to sue you. That feels right. That feels really good, But is it really effective? They're going to dig through your background. They're going to go through, pull up ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. It's going to be a really intimate trial about your intimacy. You don't want to go there. Long answer. That's how I feel. Everyone can do what they want, though. How did Clinton get his name? So my husband his name is Clinton. He is Clinton William and goes by Bill, which is funny because Bill Clinton. And then my father-in-law is Clinton as well. So Clinton is the third generation Clinton. And then we use my father's middle name. So that's how he got his name. I love that. What would even be the result of suing someone? Money, jail time? I had never even heard of suing over STDs. We had to take the responsibility too. Send him to jail or I understand Usher got sued. Okay, you're doing it for money. I get it. And you have emotional turmoil and you're emotionally upset. I get it. It's awful. But money? Okay. It doesn't solve, you still have herpes. It doesn't go away. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love Clinton. He's going to be one. Most people don't know they have it, and most people never have outbreaks. Unfortunately, we did, but we should be happy it's not deadly and focus on the health. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not deadly. We just get annoying little outbreaks here and there. It requires us to come forward initially with a relationship and the base of the relationship, the foundation of the relationship, tell them, hey, I have herpes. It forces a lot of uncomfortable conversations to the forefront, which is, I think, can be really important. Well, conversations are really important in a relationship. Bringing those uncomfortable conversations to the forefront can be really, really good for a relationship because you're talking about this. I always say, this should be the easiest, hardest conversation you have in a relationship. Easiest, hardest. There's a lot of hard conversations. Oh, thanks for the purple comments. Hey, Rachel. Does viral shedding happen monthly? We don't know. We don't know when we viral shed. We don't know how often we shed. HSV1 typically doesn't shed as often as HSV2, but that doesn't mean that it's how it's going to operate in your body or your system. We do know the longer you have it, the less likely you are to shed, opposed to like when you're first diagnosed with herpes, the virus sheds much, doing more work, right? And then once it's in your body, it kind of gets lazy. So I don't know how often that the catch, I think it's like a blessing and a curse. I don't know what's happening, so I don't worry about it. I can't control it, so I can't worry about it. The downside is I'm still contagious. So I just look at it as like, I don't know. The people that are in my life know about it. The people that share with me or like share a cup of coffee, not that I drink coffee, but if I did, or my husband I kiss, like he knows and he's making that choice. All right, guys, I apologize. I have to go because my little boy is taking a nap and I can hear him. I gotta go get him. But I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks so much. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. How do I go? Okay, there we go.